So today we are going to be doing a video that is inspired by Sarah, actually, because I think she posted it for me in this time. It was a couple days ago. For you guys, it'll probably be like a couple weeks ago. But I'm gonna be not finishing, but continuing some of the series that I've started and I haven't finished. And I think that was kind of fun because there are actually quite a few that I've started. Some of them have been like years. One of them in particular that I'm thinking about, it's Cassandra Clare's newest series. We'll get to that later. That's not right now. So the first book I'm reading, I'm actually halfway through and it's been 2 days because I love Mikhail Lussier. But this is Song of the Abyss and I'm flying through this. I picked this up yesterday because I was not in a great headspace. I literally just needed like something comforting and something that like would get my mind off of everything that was going on. This did it. But again, really good. I would give it 5 stars right now. Again, what I love about her, she doesn't waste time. She gets right into it. Like literally the first chapter, something was going on. Their ship was being raided, I think. What was the first sentence even like got me? Let's find it and let's read it. Oh my gosh. Stop sticking together, pages. Oh, okay, maybe I won't. Okay. They came in the night as she dreamt in her berth on a ship sailing home to Del Mar. They came in the night. Who came in the night? So, I pulled it. Honestly, I think I might be done this in like 2-ish days, maybe less than 2 days. I'm having fun. The first book in this series that I read was Isle of Blood and Stone. I give that book a 5 stars. I love Mikhail Lussier. So, I don't doubt that this will be a 5 stars. It's not like a series where you have to read the first book to understand this book. It would just be nice for like context. So this is a duology, but like you don't have to read them. You don't have to read both of them. My prediction was right. Oh my gosh, this is like what, like not even like a plot twist, because like this is what I thought would happen. But like the fact that it did happen doesn't make it any less surprising to me. I was like, suspicion confirmed, but I knew something big was gonna happen. And now I'm gonna go to sleep late because I fear that I'm not gonna be able to sleep if I don't continue. I'm done. Oh my gosh, I loved this guy. I'm not gonna lie, when I picked it up last week, I was not in the best headspace. It was just bad. I was sad. And I needed something to pick up, and I was like, I need to get it. I need to know that I'm gonna like it, and I wanted it to be an easy sort of read. That's exactly what this was. It was really, I got through it really fast. I think it took me 4 days, but honestly, it probably could have taken me 2. I was just reading slower because I didn't want it to end. I think on the first day, I was already halfway through, so that it just says something. But I love this so much. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to make this a non-spoilery review, but like the title is so clever for like what you find out during like the back half of the book and who like some of the characters are, and I'm like, this is just so smart. But this, okay, I don't think you have to read the first book in the duology to understand this, but if you wanted to understand the world and some of the other characters and a better idea on who the main character is, and they do touch upon like some things that happened to her at the end of the last book, you should probably read the first book. But it's so good. So glad I found it because I think it's probably one of my new favorite fantasy series ever. And that says something because I love fantasy. Fantasy is like my most preferred genre. So this guy, 4.5 out of 5. Oh my god, so good. Hi besties. So I started Wild Love, I think, yesterday night. I'm quite far into it. I thought it was a thick book, but I think it's just shorter than the ones I'm used to. But it's really good. It's really cute. It's giving me like summer camp vibes. Like, think of Noah Kahn. It's giving me like his vibes. Like, and it's in Canada. And if you guys don't know, I am Canadian, and a lot of the books I've read this year have been set in like imaginary worlds because it's fantasy, or the US. So I'm like, this is so fun. Canadian representation. Well, I think it's also because Elsie Silver is Canadian. But I went to Banff, Alberta last year with my friends, So like reading this is kind of nice because I'm pretty sure it takes place in Alberta, which is really fun. But so far I'm really liking it. I actually, oh my god, let go. I finished The Ballad of Never After yesterday, and so much to say about that. It was actually going to be in this video, but it's going to be its own video because I had too many thoughts. But this is really good. This is what I needed after, like, that the ending of that book was so heavy, and I think I went through like the 6-7 stages of grief, so I needed something like that was like light and happy, and this is kind of what it is so far. And I thought I would add this book to the video because I'm pretty sure this is the first book in the series. I want to read her other series, but this cover is just so pretty that I just could not start with it. I was reading thinking like Cora kind of reminds me of something, like her character. This isn't a spoiler in any way, but I was like scouring my head and I was like, she kind of reminds me of April Nardini. Those are like the vibes I'm getting from her, from Gilmore Girls, which I think is kind of funny, like a gother April. And now I can't like unsee it, I can't unthink it. It's just, I think it's funny. So I finished Wild Love. Can we please just talk about how pretty the cover is? Like, oh my gosh. I tabbed it a new way. I don't know if anyone's gonna care, but I tabbed it a new way. I put them like super far in because these stickies that I used are transparent, so that's not a great example. So you can see through the stickies, like you can see that the words under. So I don't know, I thought that was kind of fun. Overall rating of the book, I would give it maybe like a 4.25. I really love my in-between ratings, like the 0.25, 0.5, 0.75. I know a lot of people say like plot's important, characters are important. I would think they're very important. Setting to me is equally as important. I love it so much. Last November, so last year, my friends and I went to Alberta, so I love how I can just like picture what like the scenery is, and I think I was made for the mountains, guys. I loved it. I'll put in some pictures, but I loved how for this one I could like envision where they were and like the mountain. I love this. This was so fun. Okay, funny story, not the book, just in general. I was supposed to include The Ballad of Never After in this video, and by Stephanie Garber, and I lost it, so that's gonna be its own video. Like, the emotions were high. So I needed something light and fluffy. I needed something that would like pick me out of my 6 stages of grief after reading that. This did it. I'm so happy. But yeah, I really liked it. Once the spice started, it didn't really stop, and I don't think I'm big on spice. Like, I think in The Paradise Problem, there's some spice in that, and I was like, oh my god. But there's a lot more in this one. I didn't mind it as much as A Paradise Problem. I kind of just like skipped a couple pages until it was over. But I love this. This was so good, and now I really want to read more Elsie Silver books. Like, I know that people love her Chestnut Spring series, so maybe that'll be next. But I know that this is like it's not a standalone. There will be another book based off of Rosie's brother, I think. So I think that's gonna be really fun. And again, I think that the cover for that is so nice. But yeah, this is great. I don't have much more to say about it. Oh my god. So I do have the other 2 books. Okay, first of all, look how like intimidating this looks. Like, this is gonna be very ambitious of me because I started this years ago, I would think. And I think I just fell off of reading and I didn't continue. But I do have the first 2 books. I watched a recap video of the first 2 books because it's been like, I would say years since I read these. I remember really liking the series. Again, I just fell off reading, and I think once you fall off reading and then trying to start up again with something this large, not the best. I think that I could get through this in like if I'm being ambitious, maybe a week after the recap video. I do remember basically everything that happens. Like, everything was ringing a bell. I want to... Oh my god, my font is so small. Can we... Holy crap. Like, can you see that? I hope I like it though. I think I've slowly picked up my fast reading again. My fast reading skill. I was thinking about that yesterday actually, which was kind of funny. I was lying in bed, and you know how people have like talent shows and stuff, or like they're like, what's your talent? I think mine is fast reading. So let's start. I'm very excited for this one. I think I made great progress today. I got through exactly 100 pages, which is kind of funny. I don't actually know how many pages are in. Oh my god, almost 700. So we have 600 more to go. It's getting good. Like, the plot twists are twisting. I think the biggest plot twist happened. Like, I just read it. But did it have to take till page basically 600? I'm on like 597 to get good. Probably not. I feel like, in my humble opinion, we could have taken at least 200 pages out, and it still, the plot twist still would have had the same effect. It's just too much. Like, it's too long, and there are so many words, and it's been hard for me to follow. So that's where we're at right now. Well, I'm done. Okay, besties, my final thoughts on this. It was a rough time, I'm not gonna lie. This book could have been 200 pages shorter and still would have accomplished the same thing. I know that her books aren't edited, I think, or like not as much is cut out as like the normal book publisher, whatever you will. But it was very evident to me in this one, which is very unfortunate because I remember loving this series when I read it to begin with. So maybe I just built it up in my head. I hyped it up too much in my head, but it was painful to get through this. Like, I was not invested. I was not having a great time. I was really struggling. Halfway through, I wanted to DNF it, but I was like, no, let's keep pushing through, and I don't know why I did that. The cliffhanger the plot twist at the end, great, I loved it. Why couldn't that happened like 200 pages earlier and then continue the story from there? I don't know, I feel like a lot of it was unnecessary. Again, this is just my opinion. You can tell how much I was frustrated with this book. Once the spice started, it didn't end, and I don't really like spice in the book, and it did kind of put me off. So those are my thoughts on that. I don't even know what I would... Like a 2? 2.5? 2.5 because of the plot twist at the end, but like, that's even put 2. I'm gonna rate this book a 2. I'm reading the recap for both these books because I think I read them I read this one maybe 3 years ago, and Chain of Iron, I think, is the second one. I read that one 2 years ago, so I need a recap. And this is exactly what I did for From Blood and Ash, so I find this kind of funny. But hopefully I can start Chain of Thorns tonight after I finish the recap. I spent so long trying to find a spoilery recap for Chain of Iron, and I couldn't find anything, and I'm like, wait, I'm so dumb. I have the book, so I'm reading the last couple chapters so that it will come back to me. And it actually did. Like, after reading the Chain of Gold recap and then reading the last couple chapters of this, I'm like, oh, I actually do remember a lot that happened, which is good, because for the From Blood and Ash series, I didn't remember a lot, so I think we have a better chance of liking Chain of Thorns. So let me finish this, and then we can start the next book. So I started reading the, what is it? What am I reading? Chain of Thorns. And I was reading, and all of a sudden, there's a picture in the book. What? I'm so excited. I didn't even know this. I don't even know if this is like it's a collector's first edition. I have the other two like first editions. Mine don't have any pictures. Like this has pictures, and now I'm like really looking at it, and they're like little. I don't know if you can see. Oh, you can kind of see like little black lines. I think those are all pictures. I'm so pleasantly surprised. This is like so pretty. I feel like at this point it's almost like mandatory for me to have an update outside when I'm in the morning before I start work. So far it's good. I'm on chapter 16. I got through 200 pages yesterday, which blows my mind. But I was talking to my boyfriend because he was asking me how the book was and if I'm liking it, and I said that it's very nostalgic because just the whole Shadowhunter world in general, it's very nostalgic to me and I really love it. I feel like that will affect my rating in the sense that even if I don't like this book as much as like some of the other ones, I'm still gonna rate it probably higher than I would just because of the nostalgia. But right now it's pretty good. It's keeping my attention more than the last book. Even though this is longer. Like I feel like this is such an easier reading experience. Like the writing is just easier for me to read. Like I don't have to go back and reread some things. Like so far it's been very good. We have come to the end of the Bible book. I think I would give this like a 3.5 stars. I did enjoy it. I think that books that are over 500 pages do something to my brain. It could also just be because I've read like 2 really thick books in a row. I finished The Crown of Gilded Bones before this, as you saw. So it's so much for my brain to process. I did like it though. It was very nostalgic of like me reading the Shadowhunter series in like elementary school and also during the pandemic, because I realized this series came out in 2020, which was the pandemic year. So I did read this in the pandemic. So it was like very nostalgic, just like the world is very nostalgic for me. Loved it. I can tell that it's YA to a certain extent just because of some of the like conflict in the characters, like the character growth, where the characters started and where they ended up. There was growth, but I'm like, so many issues can be solved. James is one of the main characters. James, one of your issues could have been solved if we communicated better. Like he was literally making problems for himself in his relationship with Cordelia because he just couldn't communicate, or he didn't want to. So other than that, it was good. 3.5 stars. I'm happy I finished this. This is so from Blood and Ash. I guess I was kind of happy that I finished it, or not finished it, but like read the next book so I could be like, yeah, don't want to finish this. This one I was happy that I finished. I could have lived the rest of my life without knowing what happened, but I'm glad I do know what happens. And that's all I'll say about that. And that is going to be the last book I read for this video, because I actually wasn't planning on reading this for this video, but I'm like, might as well. If we're finishing series or continuing series, might as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I had fun. Maybe I'll do this again. I don't have any other series started except for Wild Love, but I think the next book in that comes out, oh my god, maybe next month in September, potentially. I don't know. I'll check. I could be very wrong too. But thank you guys for spending some time with me today, and I will see everyone very soon.